Hello students, today we are going to learn regulation of gene expression and lycopyrrole. So first of all we will start with regulation of gene expression. Actually gene expression is a very broad concept. Whenever gene is expressed, that time a polypeptide is formed and it will be expressed at a various level. You must have seen cats. Cat is having different color patches on its body and you never have seen the two cats similar. Now these different color patches on the hairs is expressing a gene at a different level. Now we will see this in detail. In eukaryotes, gene is expressed at various levels. See here, in eukaryotes, gene is expressed at transcriptional level. Transcription means you have studied already that when a DNA is converted into mRNA. So during that time, gene regulation is done. Next is that post-transcriptional modification. In eukaryotes, whenever the hnRNA is formed, then it will undergo various processes, that is 5' capping, tailing and splicing. So in splicing, introns are removed. So that time also gene expression is regulated. Next one is that transport of mRNA from nucleus to cytoplasm. Once the mRNA is formed in the nucleus, then for the next step, that is the translation, this mRNA will come from the nucleus in the cytoplasm, and that time also gene regulation is done. And the last step is translation, which also we have studied earlier. So at a translation level also the gene is get regulated. So these are the various steps where the gene is regulated in eukaryotes. Next, if we see prokaryotic cell E. coli, then in that the most important place of gene regulation is initiation of transcription. Very important place, here the gene regulation is done. So we can see that the gene regulation is done differently in eukaryotes as well as in prokaryotes. Take an example of E. coli. It is a bacteria. When we grow E. coli in a medium containing glucose, because for E. coli glucose is a source of energy. So when it grows in medium containing glucose, then glucose will enter in the cell and E. coli will obtain the energy from the glucose. But suppose in the medium glucose is not there and only lactose is there, then this lactose will enter into the cell, but lactose will not be taken or considered as it is for obtaining energy in E. coli. So it needed to be digested. To digest this lactose, enzyme is required. The name of that enzyme is beta galactosidase. Now this enzyme needed to prepare by E. coli. When this enzyme will be prepared, then this lactose will be digested into glucose and galactose. Now here the expression of this enzyme means the gene which is regulating or preparing this enzyme, that gene's expression is regulated by the presence of lactose. If the lactose is present, then and then only this gene will be expressed in the form of enzyme beta galactosidase. It will be digested and energy is provided to the E. coli. Glucose is there, then no need to prepare this enzyme. Whenever lactose is there, that time only, in presence of lactose only, beta galactosidase will be secreted and digest this lactose into galactose and glucose. So when this beta galactosidase is secreted or produced in E. coli, whenever glucose is present, lactose is absent, transcription will not be takes place of the gene, means the gene will not express, beta galactosidase enzyme will not be produced. Whenever the glucose is present even the lactose is present. So in presence of glucose, no need to digest this lactose. So that time also for beta galactosidase transcription will not take place and this enzyme will not be produced. When the glucose is absent and when glucose is also absent, then also this enzyme will not be produced. Then when it is produced, whenever there is glucose absent and only lactose is present, so to digest this lactose, beta galactosidase enzyme is produced, and in this way lactose will be used as a source of energy whenever glucose is absent and only lactose is present. This means that the regulation of gene expression is determined by its metabolic process or its physiological process or by environmental process. So these are the various factors which regulates the gene expression. Now we see about lactoperon. So in lactoperon, lac is related with the lactose and operon is a kind of operation. Operon means operation. So the operation which is related with the lactose is known as lactoperon. Lactoperon is first given by Jacob and Monod to elucidate transcriptionally active system. Now in this lactoperon, if we see, it is a polycistronic structural gene ZYA. So it is a structural gene and this cistron is regulated by a common promoter and regulatory gene. So this is what a lactoperon. Now in this structure, if you will study, I is representing regulatory gene, P is the next unit which is on the same DNA, it is a promoter site, O is here, that is a operator region, and this whole is a structural gene. In this lactoperon or in any operon, here different genes will be there. In lactoperon it is ZYA. Like that in any other operon, there will be any other genes like XYZ, ABC, like that. So just I am going to explain you the general structure of operon. This regulatory gene is there. This gives mRNA. This mRNA produces a kind of protein. Now whenever this protein will be act positively, then this protein is known as an activator, because as this protein is a positively acting, means this protein will support this transcription process, means it will help to carry out this transcription. So that's why this protein is known as a activator. But if this regulatory genes protein, if it acts negatively, then it is called as a inactivator or a repressor. Inactivator means which do not activate the transcription, or repressor. Repressor means which suppress or stop the process of transcription. Means whenever this protein will bind, this is the binding site of the operator region, whenever this protein bind to this operating region, then if the transcription continues, then it will be an activator, and if stops or suppress the transcription, no transcription takes place here, when it binds to this operator region, then it is called as a inactivator. So do you understand here the difference between the activator and inactivator or repressor? See here, positive regulation of operon. When it is called as positive regulation of operon, whenever this protein is an activator, means it is positively acting, right? So this activator go and bind to the operator binding site, and whenever it binds to the operator binding site, then and then only RNA polymerase enzyme transcribe these structural change and mRNA is produced. And this mRNA then will produce their respective protein. So here this activator acts positively. So this type of operon is a positive regulation or positively regulating operon. Next is in a negative regulation of operon, it is exactly opposite to the positive regulation. See here, this protein, it will be act as an inactivator or repressor. Means whenever it will go and bind to the operator site, that time no transcriptional process takes place. Means RNA polymerase is get detached from this place and this structural gene will not be transcribed into a protein. So here no transcription takes place. Further process will be stopped. So it is negatively transcriptional operon. See here, next we will see the lac operon which is in our textbook. Now as you know that positive operon and negative operon, if you see here in a lac operon, whenever this protein is there, here when it binds to the operating site, it will not transcribe the process. No mRNA will be formed, no proteins will be formed. So it will come in a negative operon. So keep in mind that lac operon is a negative regulating operon. Now see first of all the parts of the lac operon. In lac operon, there is a I gene. This I gene is a regulatory gene. This is not for inducer. Keep in mind that this is not for inducer. This is a regulatory gene which transcribe mRNA. This mRNA produce a protein. This protein is actually act as a repressor. So you can see this repressor is having a particular structure. Actually it is a tetramer. Tetramer means it has a 4 units. 4 units comes together to form a tetramer. Now whenever this repressor protein or a tetramer go and bind to this operating region, then the transcriptional process will not be takes place. No transcription is there, no mRNA will be formed, no proteins will be synthesized. Now when this process will takes place in E. coli, whenever we are growing this E. coli bacteria in the medium containing glucose and there is no lactose, means in this E. coli bacteria source of energy glucose is present. So there is no need to form any enzyme which is utilized to digest the lactose. So here this operon is stopped. No need to form any kind of enzyme. So here no inducer is there, right? So in absence of inducer, in absence of lactose and in presence of glucose, repressor protein is formed which will go and bind to the operating site. Now if you will see here carefully, the structure of the repressor binding point and this operating region site is there. These are having a specific matching structure. Means that they have a specific particular structure because every operon has their particular repressor. It's not like that any repressor protein will go and attach to any operon structure. Every operon has their particular repressor protein. So it is a specific. You must have studied about lock and key concept in enzymes. So whenever enzyme and substrate binds, they have their particular structure. How it is there in lock and key, particular key fix to the particular lock only and get opens. No any other key will fix and open that lock. Same here, the particular repressor protein has only the capacity to bind that operator region, and no any other repressor protein will bind to the operator region. So this repressor protein will go and bind to the operator region and stop this further process, because they don't need this enzyme to produce, because they don't have the lactose in the medium. They have glucose as a source of energy. Now whenever medium containing lactose, whenever the medium containing lactose and E. coli are growing in that, so they don't have any other source rather than lactose to get energy. So in that process, what happens actually to the operon? See here, once again here, regulatory synthesize mRNA. This mRNA produce a repressor protein which is a tetramer, but in the medium there is a lactose. Now lactose, it is also called as an inducer, because it induce this operon, start this operon. So this inducer or lactose again go and attach to the repressor. So you can see here a repressor go and attach to the operating site. At that same time then lactose, as it is present over here, it go and bind to the repressor. Once this lactose is bind to the repressor, this repressor will change its shape. As it change its shape, it will be detached from the operating site, and this detached repressor gets break down into 4 parts, because it is a tetramer, right? So 4 molecules of lactose binds to this tetramer and break this tetramer into 4 parts. In this way, repressor get inactivated, and as the repressor is get inactivated, operator will be not binded with the repressor. So RNA polymerase enzyme further transcribes this structural gene, produce mRNA, and this particular gene will express their proteins or enzymes. Now in lac operon, Z gene is there, that is responsible for forming beta galactosidase enzyme. Now what is the function of this beta galactosidase enzyme? Earlier also I said, now also I am saying, it breaks down the lactose into glucose and galactose, 2 molecules. So this is the function of galactoside, that is it digests lactose into glucose and galactose. Y gene is there, it gives permease enzyme. If you see the function of this permease enzyme, then the name itself indicates that it gives permission. For what permission? Increase the permeability of the cell membrane for beta galactosidase. So the permeability of the beta galactosidase will be increased in the cell by this enzyme, that is the permease enzyme. Now the last one is the A gene. This A gene transcribes for mRNA and gives the enzyme transacetylase. Now this transacetylase function is that it transfers the acetyl group from acetyl-CoA to beta-galactosidase. Now indirectly it helps the beta-galactosidase to activate. Means the name itself, transacetylase. Trans means transfer, acetylase, acetyl group will be transferred to the beta-galactosidase. This is the function of this enzyme. So these 3 enzymes are there. By their name only you can understand their function. Beta-galactosidase breakdowns or digest the lactose in glucose and galactose. Permease increase the permeability of beta-galactosidase into the cell, and transacetylase it transfer the acetyl group from acetyl-CoA to beta-galactosidase. So this is about the lac operon when the inducer is present or a lactose is present. And earlier whatever we have seen, that is when inducer is absent or when the lactose is absent and glucose is present, that time this operon is there. So you can say that this is switch off operon and the next one is switch on operon. Here the operon is on. So this is what about the lac operon. So here you must have the clear cut idea about the positive operon and negative operon. Whenever the operon repressor or activator is there, whenever it is a activator, it is a positive operon, and whenever it is a repressor, then it is a negative operon. Like this lac operon, there are other operons also like his operon, val operon, era operon. So all these operons you will study in higher classes. So for this, do well, prepare well. It is very important operon, and based on this 3 marks, 5 marks question will be asked. On gene regulation separate question will be asked, but switch on and switch off operon will be definitely asked, or it may asked in presence of inducer or in absence of inducer, or it may be also asked as a presence of lactose and absence of lactose. So based on that you prepare this point very well. Even the diagram is the most important. Practice it very nicely and prepare well. All the best.